We're in today with the legendary RX 590. We're gonna take this video card in Call of Duty series. We're gonna see how it's performing with this i9 10 gen. Probably it's gonna do fantastic until we reach the latest Call of Duty, but in my opinion, I think majority of the Call of Duty will be fantastic with this video card. Still a capable video card from 2018. It's got 2300 and 4 shaders, DirectX 12 compatible, 256 bits bus width with GDDR5 on 8 gig of VRAM amount, running at 1560 megahertz on the core clock with 2100 megahertz on the memory clock. I think it's still awesome, and I think it's gonna do really nice in this Call of Duty series. Let's jump in. All right, let's start with Call of Duty 4. I think we're gonna jump in and see how it's running with 1080p with maximum details. Then I will swap to V-Sync because I want to see the best efficiency that I can get with this video card. I'm not joking. I like how it's working because yeah, it gives me incredible averages number here. Seriously, no system RAM used. I mean, 6.5 gig of system RAM is not that much. 63 degrees with this video card, seriously. But it's 92%, 95% load. The VRAM is not loaded, and 1500 RPM to cool this video card, to keep the GPU on 63 degrees, you know, so around 150 watts on the chip power. That's the maximum I think they got there. But regardless, I actually think it's 250 watts, 250, because it got chip power and core power. Listen, this is all fantastic with this Call of Duty, and the only thing I'm interested now is to put in graphics. I want to put to sync double time. Okay, so with 100 FPS apparently we are getting less wattage. Apparently the wattage is good, like 40 watts, 50 watts. It's very efficient, you know. So on average, you know, 100 FPS from V-Sync. The CPU is not loaded. The GPU, it's sometimes it's maximum, sometimes it's zero. Seriously, you can actually see the dips in the core load. And the only thing I'm interested with V-Sync is efficiency on Call of Duty with the video cards. Okay, we're in Modern Warfare 2. This is the old generation. I wanna disable V-Sync here, and I think everything is on extra, so we are good to go on 1080p. So apply the settings. Yes. Okay. This is actually really nice to see 300 FPS in a game like this. Maximum details without V-Sync, everything is running butter smooth. System RAM, VRAM, it's on the line with this. But the only thing it's notable is the amount of wattage this GPU it's eating. Seriously, 150 on the chip power with core power 120. It's kind of decent GPU if you're asking me, based on the wattage. It's exactly what I was expecting to from this game. And I mean, it's an old game, you know, but it still runs really nice. And I think if you're interested to play some, how should I say, to get a 590, yeah, or a 580, because there's not a lot of difference between this video card and the 580. Now, if you have a video card like this and you say, oh, well, I want to get a high refresh rate monitor. What do you want to do? You want to play new games? No, I will play like this, and you play it with 200 FPS and it feels butter smooth. Okay, let's see how it's running with V-Sync. I'm actually curious. If I put V-Sync at activate, everything. All right, so the only thing I have a difference is the wattage. Okay, so there is like gaps in the load on the GPU. You can actually see it. Sometimes it's 99, sometimes it's 0, but you can actually see that the GPU is very cool, like 52 degrees. 52 degrees with 800 RPM on the cooler. That means the GPU is not loaded, seriously, just time to time. On the VRAM it's 0.7, and that's really good, seriously. Holy shit. In Black Ops, I think we're gonna have some fun with 1080p full screen. Sync every frame, no, and everything it's on maximum. Even without V-Sync, this is the maximum FPS you can get apparently. But it's good, 49 degrees on the GPU, barely loads, barely any portion loaded, 800 RPM, and the GPU is barely reaching 50 degrees, you know. So 50 watts power consumption on the chip power is something that I want from a video card like this. I'm not gonna lie. On the core, you got like 15, 30 watts, and that is okay. Minimal 14. Interesting, because even though I got like 90 FPS on average, I don't understand what is with those drops like now too. Maybe those are only in transition, and that's it, 1% for cinematic and stuff like that. Cinematic transition, that's it. I don't think it's influencing the gameplay. 0.8 gig of VRAM used, easy. We're gonna test other video cards with this series, and we're gonna see how many games we can max out. Seriously, why they? Yeah. Let's jump into Modern Warfare 3 and see how it's running with this video card. Maximum details, VSync, it's off, high quality, everything is on maximum. So apparently the CPU it's barely even used on this game. i9 10 Gen is working with 2-3%, 4% load on the CPU. I mean, that's not ideal. I want an older CPU, seriously, so I can see how it's performing. On the system RAM, on the other hand, I got 7.6 gig of system RAM used. That's actually good. And the GPU temperature, it's not that bad, seriously, considering it's got 1100 RPM. And it's keeping the GPU on 56 degrees. The only thing I'm interested it's VSync. I want to activate VSync and see how it's performing. Brilliant performance, 52 on minimal with 78 on 1%. That's exactly what I need from this game. Give me the best FPS ever, seriously, but with the most decent wattage ever. If I can get that wattage on the check, your heart get cover. If I can get those wattage on check, then I'm golden. Can't wait to get this video card on best efficiency ever. We are in Black Ops 2 with 1080p. Everything is on max with without VSync. Oh, nice explosion. Ooh. Black Ops 2, it's exactly that game that managed to put the GPU on the wattage consumption. I'm looking at over 130 watts consumption only on the cheap power. It's eating 1.4 gig of VRAM. Oh my god, this is the first game that I'm actually seeing that is using properly the VRAM. 1.4 gig of VRAM from 8, but whatever. Look at the averages. 260 average with 141 on 1% and 200 on 1% and 180 on minimal. Those are insane numbers, but look, the core is linear 100%, you know, so it's older, you know, than the GPU, but it's capable, you know. This is exactly what I need. DisplayPort, HDMI, high performance display ports from the back, you know. I can use this RX 590 with the DisplayPort and get 240 Hertz on the monitor, you know, and that's it. This is what I want from a game. I got only 140 FPS, so it doesn't matter, but you can understand what I'm referring. If I want to get some gameplay from this Call of Duty, I can go online in multiplayer and I can lower the details in Black Ops 2 and get 200 FPS and get the proper experience, you know. Look at it. The core is mega loaded, the VRAM is not loaded, only 1.4 gig of VRAM is used, 99% load on the core, so the core is the one that is giving me 170 FPS on average, you know, so it's kind of cool. 130 watts consumption, so overall it's everything, it's fantastic, you know, with this video card. Let's see how Black Ops 3 is performing. Everything is on maximum details. Everything without motion blur. The only thing I'm interested is VSync to be off. Sync every frame. It's off. Wait, is it VSync on? Why I got 60 FPS? Max FPS 60. No. No. 160 FPS on maximum details. So I need some averages. Let's see what we got here. 10.7 gig of system RAM. Okay, so Black Ops 3 apparently is getting more intense, you know. 5.5 gig of VRAM. Damn, son. So from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, what a nice leap there is in performance specs usage in the GPU. I like the specs, 170 FPS, 160 average with 41 minimals and 120 on 1%. CPU wise, apparently barely managed to reach 20%. Sometimes only 17, but it's that's how much you get from this CPU. Not something that I will say that is necessary on i9 10 gen with this game, but on the GPU side apparently we need a faster core. Look at it, 73 degrees with 1500 RPM. That's a lot. 72 degrees, 150 watts consumption, but it's delivering the FPS. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so on 60 FPS, apparently the core is not mega loaded. It's only using 90 watts consumption on the chip power. That's actually cool. 60 watts is good because it's on 800 RPM, so the GPU is staying very cold. You can actually see the load is not that big. It just gaps in between the load. But the system RAM managed to reach 11.2 gig of system RAM, and at the same time, the CPU still not loaded. Infinite Warfare with this video card. Let's see how we are set up, seriously. Advanced options, display, texture, mega high, everything, seriously. RX 590 is doing a fantastic job and it looks so cool. Over 100 FPS with this video card, and can't wait to see the averages. Oh, this is how I need to be played the campaign. So the core is mega loaded, the VRAM is mega loaded, 7.7 gig of VRAM. I think the GPU managed to reach the maximum capacity. Seriously. Whoa. That's insane, seriously. The wattage side, it got like 150 on maximum. I think that's the maximum capacity. I think that's the maximum wattage that the chip can do, and I'm very satisfied with it. 66 degrees on the GPU with 1500 RPM. The game is very intense. There's a lot of details, because I set it up on maximum details. Oh yeah, best campaign ever. This is exactly the game that needs to be played on this video card, seriously. VSync. And that's it, 100 FPS. Apparently, you should put it on 60 FPS, but regardless, I will take it like this too. Seriously, even if it's only 100 FPS limit, it's still okay. 36 on minimal, 83 on 1%. The GPU is hovering around 110 wattage, and that the chip power is kind of good, with this. 64 degrees with 1500 RPM. The VRAM is still actually 7.6 gig of VRAM, just a fraction lower. If you're interested on playing this game with this RX 590, it's quite awesome, seriously. 8 gig of VRAM. Can't complain. So we are in Black Ops 4, apparently on 1080p with maximum details. I don't think it's a VSync, but we're gonna see how it's running with Black Ops 4. Can't wait to see. Because apparently Call of Duty Infinite Warfare in campaign without VSync managed to do some interesting performance. Managed to kill somebody. Managed 2 kills with this, seriously, on maximum details. And I'm getting 80 FPS on minimal and 95 on 1%. Those are some very interesting numbers from a video card like this. But it's made for this. Seriously, it's made for this. There's no complaining about it. The CPU started to be loaded, like around 40% load on the CPU. And on the GPU side, we are getting some very interesting readings. Seriously. 100% load on the core, 7.3 gig of VRAM used, and faster core or more VRAM. Actually, 7.4 gig of VRAM. It's not that bad, seriously. So overall, the GPU is getting like 70 degrees with this amount of performance. I'm not gonna lie, it's doing a fantastic job, you know, but the core is mega loaded. On the system RAM, I got like 15.5 gig of system RAM. Dude, this Black Ops, it's using a lot of system RAM, so you need like 32 gig soon. 72 degrees apparently with 1.5 gig, 1,500 RPM. That's not bad, you know. I'm actually surprised how this video card is holding seriously with this game. I'm gonna put 60 FPS and see how it's running. Okay, let's see how it's doing with 60 FPS. 100 watts consumption. Apparently the core is much better. It doesn't overheat now. On 60 FPS, apparently we are getting a 100 wattage consumption with good temperature, like 65. So it's to be expected. We're in Black Ops Cold War. Let's see on maximum details how we are doing. I'm only at the beginning of the game, but I'm already seeing a lot of stress on the system and the GPU overall. Seriously, this i9 10 gen apparently still doesn't it's not being loaded, but the system RAM it's 16.3 gig of system RAM. 6.8 gig of VRAM is being used, and on the system RAM 16.5 gig of system RAM. That's a good number. On the wattage apparently we got like what, 140 watts on the GPU consumption for the cheaper power. It's not bad, but already dipping in under 100 FPS with average 70 average 74 on average with this video card. On minimal I got 18, that is not okay, with 56 on 1%, 20 FPS on minimal. There's no point today to actually activate VSync, but I'm very low on the numbers apparently. Maximum system GPU is mega loaded. What do you expect? Very nice, but overall it's maximum detail, so I can't complain. It looks and it runs really nice. Seriously, 6.8 gig of VRAM. Killed them by mistake. Ah, damn it. Let's test Vanguard and see how it's running. I put it on ultra preset and jump in the campaign and see how it's running. Okay, let's jump in and see how it. Oh, 50, 60 FPS. Do I have VSync on this? Seriously, graphics. VSync gameplay off. Fun. Let's see the GPU maximum. Apparently it is not even it's not even a big deal. Seriously, 60-70 FPS. Okay, but it's running with maximum details the video card. Seriously, it's the core is mega loaded, 6.8 gig of VRAM used, you know, and overall there is still 1 more gig left from this, but the core, it's not. The core is too weak for this game apparently. I have to lower the details, and I think it will be much better if I do that. Then I can use VSync and then I get an optimized GPU. At the moment I got like 150 watts consumption on the chip. Dude, that's huge, man. Overall, the video card is quite fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. RX 590 is still a valid video card. It's got 8 gig of VRAM. It's got lots of power in this video card, even though it's 2018. I think the last two of them, they had like under 100 FPS, but the rest of them, they were quite fantastic. So if you're interested to play with this RX 590 or 580, because they're very similar, you want to play Call of Duty, fantastic. I know I'm missing a couple of them, but majority of them, they were here, you know. And plus Warzone, if you want to see Warzone, I have a separate video with the Warzone. I love this video card and how it was working, and I'm curious what do you think about this Call of Duty series. I want to bring more video cards, so what do you think?